Richie.
Hi, Sin.
How are you doing today?
Well, I'm happy we got to the end of the notes, but also I'm a little sad because it's the last of the notes we'll be reading.
Aww.
Or is it?
Or is
because
it?
there might be some secret notes people don't often know about, but are in the game.
Oh, and we will reveal them when we get 5,000 likes on this video.
No, I think we'll just do it now.
This is note number 21.
Yes.
And where is it located?
It is located in the Bergenworth lecture building.
And to find out more, what should people watch?
Find more about what? just to find out more. To find out more, you can just go to a news site and just read what's happening in the world around you, or perhaps, it's like go on. There's a lot of documentaries on YouTube. You could just watch those, find out, how chicken nuggets are made or something. Just if anything's ever interesting. Yeah, if you wonder, what's going. I mean, it's like they're usually only about an hour long. You could learn a lot. Maybe those short educational films they used to put on during Sesame Street. A lot of those are still on YouTube, and they can be quite informative. So to find out more, just like the internet's right there. And if you're listening to this, perhaps this was recorded and sent to you and you don't have an internet connection, try your local library. They're happy to help you if you've got any questions.
Thank you, Richie. What kind of note is it?
It's next to the last note we did. It's on the same desk. Mm-hmm.
Can you read the note in your best JSF voice?
Hunt the great ones!
I don't think that's what JSF sounds like. It's more like, hunt the great ones!
Hunt the great ones!
Yeah.
My name's Richard. I think I'm so smart.
That's a perfect impersonation.
Yeah.
That is your best work yet.
Thank you. It says, hunt the great ones. Hunt the great ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's look at it in detail. Hunt. This is interesting because at some point you mentioned that it doesn't say nightmare slayed, it says nightmare hunted.
Yeah. In the Japanese Bloodborne, instead of prey slaughtered, it says you hunted.
Okay.
And instead of nightmare slain, it says nightmare hunted.
Mm-hmm. And here it says hunt the great ones.
Yeah. And our character in Bloodborne?
Yeah?
They're only a hunter.
What?
Just gotta stay on target, stay on target. Stay on target.
If our podcast had notes lying around, one of them would be like, stay on target, stay on target. Like, hunt the great ones, hunt the great ones.
Yeah.
What we need to do is make the equivalent of all of these notes, but that apply to us.
Or just leave notes for ourselves.
Yeah, but they have to be the notes that are from Bloodborne, but changed for the Snack Covenant.
I think we just need to finish this.
Okay.
The end is in sight.
Okay. The great ones. What are the great ones?
Do people listening to this not know?
I don't know. I don't know who listens to this. Could be anyone.
Someone's just like, I've never played Bloodborne, but I'm intrigued by these notes. In particular, note 21.
We actually have a podcast on the Great Ones. I don't remember what it is, but I know we have more than one. And we have a podcast on Thumerians that actually talks about the Great Ones as well.
Yep.
And we have a few podcasts that explain the Great Ones. So, like, listen to the playlist and you will know what the Great Ones are.
Do you want me to just... okay, after having sarcastically suggested that people already know, now I feel horrible because you're like, listen to the playlist, and this is like 200 videos that kind of go all over the place. And I think... So if you don't know what the Great Ones are, we'll go over it now to save you having to sift through like 12 hours of audio.
More than 12.
Mm.
Okay, Richie, tell us, what are the Great Ones?
The Great Ones are... they're just like super... it's a term that's used for like super advanced beings. It's not like a specific species, it just means like a being that has elevated its body and thought to a point where it's like in touch with the cosmos, and it's like transcended all evolution. It's like the apex of evolution. And the thing is, like, because things evolve by reproducing, the idea is that the Great Ones, because this is like, doesn't technically make sense, but just roll with it. The idea is that because they're so evolved, they can't produce offspring, because you can't become more evolved than they are. That's like the central kind of like contrivance at the heart of this. And so what happens is like they can give birth, but the birth always ends with the child dying, because there's like, you can't surpass the parent. So the child is always something wrong and they die. So the entire plot of Bloodborne hinges on people attempting to beckon and call on the Great Ones using the children of the Great Ones who have died, but like they've left behind a what they call a third cord, which is like the thing that links the parent to the child. So if you hold up this third cord of the child of a dead Great One, the other Great Ones can sort of sense that, and they're sympathetic and they sort of reach down to it, like, you know, that's a child, I want my child. I yearn for a child. And that draws them to you. It's like a summoning. You're summoning them using that.
Thank you, Richie. The note says hunt the Great Ones in English. Does it say anything different in Japanese?
It says it's like Great One hunting. So it's like the same thing. Not well, it's like not an imperative per se. It's just like, yeah, it's like we are hunting the Great Ones, or like let's hunting the Great Ones. So basically the same.
So it's more like a to-do list.
Well, do we want to talk about that it's next to another note?
Okay, let's talk about it.
Because that note says 3 third chords.
Mm-hmm.
We covered that in note 20. So we'll assume that people listen to that and they know what we're talking about. So we know that Bergenworth are like, okay, we got 1 chord. We need 3. But where are we going to get where are we going to get other chords from?
Mm-hmm.
The answer is hunt the Great Ones. They hunted Kos initially. The hunters went and killed Kos. So they're like, we need extra chords. Where do we get them? Go find other Great Ones. So that's what Bergenworth were doing before the whole institution collapsed.
Mm-hmm.
And like, that can possibly explain why they are floating around in the nightmare. Because it's like, I guess they maybe tried to get to the Nightmare Frontier to hunt Amygdala. And it ended up shifting the entire lecture hall there. But Amygdala does not drop a third chord. So it would have been a waste of time if they'd done it.
You brought up this explanation before, I think
Yeah.
when we talked and also when we podcasted. And I actually really, really like it. It's simple, it's to the point, it makes sense.
Yeah. So therefore it's not correct, because the story is like, it doesn't make sense, and it's all like Lovecraft, which is the same as it not making sense.
Exactly. No, and that's why I think I really connected with your videos, like a lot of people, the videos you make on your channel, because they're
Mm.
very much like that, where it's connecting simple things with a simple path.
Yeah, almost like the story is not that complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Almost like the doll's not a great one. Almost like Erden is the thing in Erden Chapel that's named after him. Mm.
So, if you had to make a guess, who left that note specifically?
Well, it was whoever was, like, working in that lab and, like, dissecting weird shit from the Chalice Dungeon.
Do you think we meet them in the game?
Well, they're probably one of the slime scholars.
Is it the same slime scholar from a few episodes ago?
He's just really prolific.
Yeah.
He's doing all the work and the other ones were copying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you think it's a note that was left there just because, like a sort of observation, or was it left for a purpose?
No, what I think is they were doing the research into the anatomy of these things, and they realized we need 3/3 chords. Where do we get them? Hunt the great ones. So it's like, it's the same sequence of, like, it's like reasoning. We need this thing, where do we get it? We get it from great ones. How do we get it? We hunt them.
So it's more like notes you write down for yourself. Like, after you read a book, you write down a few notes.
Yeah, yeah. Just highlighting passages.
Yeah, like, what I think they should have done is they should have had a binder with all the notes.
Like Resident Evil.
Resident Evil has that?
Yeah, in Resident Evil you find notes lying around the game, like in Bloodborne, but then when you find them, they, like, you can just access them at any time from the menu. There's like a file section.
Oh, interesting.
Hmm.
Because otherwise the notes get scattered all over the place and nobody knows what goes where. And notes get lost, notes get forgotten. Some of them end up in Yahargul.
Yeah, yeah. I like the idea that the guy was writing, he was like writing, "Behold a pale blood sky," and there was going to be some other information, and then the pig just rammed into him.
Yeah.
And he went flying and just splattered against that wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The pig ate my homework.
Hmm. Of course, at Bergenworth, you have to be careful that the teacher doesn't eat your homework. Because he's a werewolf. And that's like a dog. Spent 5 years getting a doctorate. I end up doing this.
Well, some people might argue that this is more important than your doctorate.
Oh, absolutely.